All right, we are making so much progress. I'm so hyped. I'm just finished the video on Everglow. I'm reviewing the work from the last week alone, and there's so much. These are new ideas for Digimon. We're going to expand that soon. Yeah, we're not going to let the concept fade. But we're also going to keep the arts and design thing going on a general level that touches everything to level that up, and then we can specify for each project and story as it comes about, as that's been super helpful. We just worked on these are really fun, learning different types of builds and then remixing them. Once you learn something, to do variations, each of which help get down the similarities of form, but also ways that you can diverge from that build, taking on character and scene. Character with a little bit of story. Just the other night, we are doing a bunch of masks. These masks are cool. They're good for character and beast, like either side. And there's lots of different types of masks. These are all drawn from reference, I think. Some adapted just a little bit. This is the work we just finished. I like the fisheye lens. You see two opposite ends of a hallway. Some people will recognize this as a shot from Dandadan, and then adapted. I referenced the shot from Dandadan, but it was just a very simple base. So like, what else could you do in a double hallway scenario? And it's like creatures coming in from both sides. You and your partner, they got your back. Everglow. Yeah, capture the adventure. Like the running, the wind in your hair, you know, the fields of adventure, the winds of adventure, soaring violins, and your friends beside you, you know, not just in the story, but your real friends. Because that's always what I loved. Summer vacation, your friend comes out to stay with you for a week. You didn't even know what you're going to do. Or will you still enjoy each other's company by the end of a week? And sure, there might be ups and downs or disagreements, but it's just like on. It's easy. You always find something cool to do. Like every day, it's special and awesome. You know, live for those times. Live for those times for sure. Friendship is magic. All right. Yeah, have fun. We're taking on a miracle in design right now. We've got all kinds of different builds, all kinds of different shapes. We're just going to do some free sketch for creatures and creature design. So we'll do a little bit of reference as we go along, but then we'll try to keep it quick and then remix our reference, you know, quickly. And, you know, we can take time to learn things if we want to. We don't want to be like too defined by any kind of way that it has to be. But in that freedom, in that space, there's like the chance to capture inspiration, capture raw inspiration, capture real inspiration as it comes in. And follow the inspiration wherever it may lead. It might be some fun discoveries, some, yeah. We shall see where the winds of inspiration lead us. I'm thinking about too much. Like, you have to clear your mind to draw, to design, to dream, even to get the best ideas. If you're wondering what to do about this situation or that situation or this relationship or that relationship, it's like, clear your mind, put your intentions forth, you know, go to bed if you have to, but find something else to focus on for a time, and, you know, see if inspiration comes to you. Because if it's uninspired, it's like, what are you going to figure out? You're going to use a perfectly good opportunity to draw the coolest creatures ever. So just do a couple of builds. We build up a little bit of confidence, and then from that place, we'll try to draw smaller. We've been excelling at the small designs. I don't know why I go back to like a larger size. I don't know why. Okay, so like tail, up, back, tail, neck, head. It's fun to take on different angles. Ooh, kind of tempted to do some Horizon Zero Dawn stuff. You take all these shapes of creatures and try to do sci-fi things. It's very Horizon Zero Dawn to do that, though. They really, like, robot dinosaurs and robot creatures have been around since forever. Zoids, anyone? But no, it's just Horizon. Maybe we could do it in a different way. Some kind of organic and sci-fi mix. We shall see. If you take something and you're like, what about a more bird-like quality? Not entirely bird-like. It's gotta have front legs too. Are there any birds that have 4 legs? I have no idea. There's like reptiles. Reptiles and birds are kind of similar. Horns? Maybe not. See? So this thing's fun. While holding Everglow in our point of attraction, but not feeling like defined, like, oh, we have to make something cool. That was really cool. We have to follow it up. I was gonna do one of those, but then kind of got lost in creature design. And now that we are getting into creature design is the space where, like, these could be for a game. They could be a placeholder example of something that sets theme and style for a game that is then expanded and adapted by a larger team. Even if it's nothing that gets used in the final. I've got to keep giving everything mask faces and skull faces. We're gonna have to do some in-depth animal faces. I'm really loving the size of the bodies and the shapes they take. I'm trying to, okay, move on. Brisk pace. Brisk pace is good. Different kinds of tails. What could we do with this? Different head? Like a dragon type thing? I always end up, I don't know, not like feeling bad for people, but wishing people well. Even if people haven't, like, I feel like they haven't treated me great. I felt hard done on for a while. I don't know, if I get ahead, if I get into my element, it's just like, I don't wish anyone anything other than good. Like, again, to strive for the strength of the hero, like, you can prioritize what's important to you. You know, if there was an assailant and they were assailing the innocent, you had the power to stop them, you know, like, let it be done. Right? Deftly, swiftly, without hesitation. But when it comes to just, like, I don't know, where anyone is at in their life, it's like I want everyone to find truth and goodness. And, you know, karma, it can be a bitch sometimes if they have to, you know, go through a karmic cycle for them to receive the karma gracefully and learn from it and, you know, take from it what they were supposed to learn and move into a more positive karmic cycle. Yeah, of course, like, you know, don't prioritize, or not prioritize, but don't accept people treating you with anything less than you deserve. But don't also become like spiteful, hateful person. If anything, like, just take all of your awareness and your appreciation away from what doesn't work for you and put it into relationships that do. If none of your relationships active in your life fit that image of what you want, then dream of that. Whether it's books or games or movies or stories, like, imagine what those relationships are and hold the space until they do appear for you. So you always find like-minded ladies and gents out there. You always find people interested in doing the same things, lovers of the same stories, the same adventures, the walks of life, skills, talents. Okay, we're working on more muscle stuff, and that's fun. But once you go in depth a little bit, it's the fun guy. Do like some giant horns or something. Something like, you gotta reference more Final Fantasy and Chrono Cross, and we'll think of different games that, and then go back and reference more just animal stuff. But things that take wild divergences from the source material and the animals, but then, you know, get really creative in remixing them. Reference some Dungeons and Dragons monster manuals and stuff. For sure, I'm a huge D&D fan. It's been a while. So even if my ass is acquainted to the 3.5 editions, I could refresh myself and introduce my, 3.5 skill set to the table. I'm sure it's still good. You know, in some ways, it probably excels even harder. Lost and forgotten techniques and whoa. Yeah, really thick muscles are something we've been working on lately. And now, after the long form practice, it's becoming quite reflex. Something like walking like a chimp. Doing the chimp walk. Oh no. Try to move briskly. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, man. I'm thinking of different master storytellers and people that run production on different things. The advocates and lovers of stories everywhere. Like, where does our stuff fit in? Arcane Rhino. Whoosh. That's kind of dinosaurian. Final Fantasy VIII shoulder tusks. Shoulder tusks. Yeah, we can't use those, but it's fun to try things out. Things that you're learning, things you just learned, things you're still learning. Experiment, experiment, experiment. Yeah, we're getting better and better at embodying all of the design philosophies that I've tried to keep in my mind, all the advice. Some of it requires, like, I don't know, it's just really helpful if you can get working. You can start making progress and create a positive momentum and a foundation you can build on. Yeah. That's so huge. if you have that, it's like anything becomes possible. And you'll just be so active that when an artist gives you advice, some of it you relate to, some of it you're like, that advice isn't quite for me, but I appreciate it. And you can tell. Gratitude and excitement are like the two words of the day. This thing's a tank. Okay. Do it again, but faster. This is the shit. This is the shit we should be doing. Even bigger. Massive shoulder, bicep. A god. Okay, that one's really good. That one's really good. He rides the other one. Oh no. Okay, this is more like learning things. But I did wish, I was like, I wish someone would just like draw creatures for a while. So if I didn't think of anything, I could copy off of their creatures. And when you see what I'm doing and you've gained just a little bit of confidence, then you can Pinterest anything. Final Fantasy creatures, Dungeons and Dragons creatures, all sorts of different designs that you find cool and interesting. And we can give example of ways to remix these maybe. We're like, oh, that's an interesting thing he did with the muscles and the layering. Try that if you feel like, you know? Is it still sci-fi? Yeah? You're like, oh man, you adapt some sci-fi things? Definitely. Keep going though. We can adapt some sci-fi later. That does look sick though. There we go. Some like batteries and such. Okay, try and do some epic monsters. Well, kind of a ruby weapon. Final Fantasy VII proportions. Okay, we see a creature that's designed like this in this part, and then you can look away and think of what can we do for the rest of this. I'm thinking a four-armed thing could be cool. Some giant hands could be cool. His hands that could destroy city blocks and skyscrapers. It's probably not that big, but they'd have impact. He'd smash really hard. It's not just the size. Oh, cool hand shape. That's dope. Yeah, after you've been fitting shapes together for a while, they kind of fit together on their own. Like a Godzilla noise. Is it mecha? Or made out of like magical pieces of armor and bone constructed by wizards? Who is this thing? Their weapons created by the planet. I can't wait to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Oh my god, oh my god. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII, my favorite game. It'll feel cool to, you know, to have done all this arts and design stuff. So that while playing Rebirth, it's kind of like, ooh, creature designs. Okay. Kind of trying to do like a wild downturned face. I don't know if it's really working. Try for the second arms really quick, just in case you want to undo. Control Z those arms. Yeah, no, watching everyone play Final Fantasy Rebirth was pretty tough. It was tough and fun. Yeah, no, I used to fashion myself one of the world's leading Final Fantasy VII fans. I still do. It's just pretty hard for me to bear that title, you know? And it's not like, you know, I've been the one who couldn't find exactly how and why to get funding and whatnot. Not like it makes it any easier being like, I can only blame myself. You know? The one person whom I tend to bear little benefit of the doubt and, you know, sympathies. Okay, this thing's now cool. I mean, it was cool all along. I like designs where scale is kind of like, who knows? I wish we could get like someone who's like, oh, we're designing a world and we need some graphite pencil sketches. Not even the sketches or the medium, but just like need some designs. Love your designs. It's not impossible. It would just be ideal to also be able to do color. But you're like, hiring on a designer and an illustrator, I could design things, illustrators could illustrate them. That would be so cool to get to see someone else take your designs and make illustration out of them. I could do now a complex 3D breakdown so that it'd make it easy for the illustrator. That'd be cool. Okay. Maybe one more or something. Make sure we're drawing on frame. We'll go ahead and do some in-depth drawing. Yeah, might as well. I feel like the camera reads the best from here. Maybe just do some photos of animals now that I'm thinking about it. I've been doing a lot of like monster designs, but then just draw part of them. And, you know, just to get ideas and such. But we're getting enough ideas where we could definitely. Turtle? Let's see. Lizard. Still a turtle. Unquestionably a turtle. Why I draw so many turtles? Okay, we're gonna kick it up and maybe switch gears. Might be easier to free reference or just like create some designs without reference at this point. So it's kind of cool. Still remember the lizard back legs from Final Fantasy VIII creature. I shouldn't give away my secrets. It's gonna look like a turtle no matter what, unless we change something. I just don't know what makes it a turtle instead of a lizard. Okay. Maybe instead of doing monsters, we'll do characters. Should do characters soon anyways. This is a lot of fun. Masks look good on everything. You have things like with masks and like made of dark alloys or like twisting muscles and then darkness, and you have runic carvings on them or something. Like Twilight Princess and Persona 3 and whatnot have just kind of like a very unique skin that goes over all of the creatures. If it's like, oh, these come from a different dimension, or they're like part of this alien race, and you could just like any type of thing that you draw. Now it gets these like unique muscles, and then they'd have runic carvings. Like more muscles than regular, right? Like they look like these overlapping bands of like, I realize there's a lot of muscles as well, but a bit more. I can do a dragon. I know how to draw dragons. I don't know too much about lizards. And there's like a brow. And it might have like a horn. Yeah. Dragon. I guess it might look more like a lizard. Okay, I've got to get like excited. This is a fun, cool art flow. And I'm sure things will work out. My friends and family and people I've fallen out of touch with, and work out for the best, and just pray for inspiration, listen for inspiration, take care of yourself, make sure that you tend to your alignment, because if you don't have no alignment, you ain't helping nobody. And if you're putting your focus on someone, but you don't have a solution, you don't have a positive focus, you're not helping them, you're not helping you. Get your focus where it counts. Do something for yourself today. And then if you treat yourself well enough, helping others becomes quite second nature. Hell yeah. Okay, we'll try to do maybe like, let's see, just a little, this diamond. Do a little bit of free sketch. This is the best part of the whole video. In all my other videos, I'll like go in, be detailing, but like, okay, let's release that and see what we can come up with. Oh man, this guy's crazy. Like a little mask face. Like a Sphinx body. This thing is terrible. Thinking of Persona enemies. Okay, something like this thing, but like, whoa. Okay, like rib caged chest. Could do a long face. And It's got like a spear or something. Yeah. Then you can go in, do a different kind of face entirely. I wouldn't leave you at that kind of nightmare fuel. But this kind of nightmare fuel. Yeah. Other designers will be like, we'll never be hard done on to hire a concept designer like you. I play. I'm personally thinking these are pretty great. It's really good to go through these steps of repetition. If you are stepping into the design space, if you're applying yourself to design, try and give you a friend in the space and a guy who's been there, who's kind of found the way through. As we are deconstructing designs into these Gennaro forms, taking them in lots of directions. Chest. Oh, we gotta do some FromSoft stuff. Okay, stop drawing chickens with no arms. We're not gonna do a fatty, or we'll get tired of them. See, this is the stuff I do with From. It's like very abstract character silhouettes to start. Because a little abstraction from designs is really where they set it off. Like someone's where you're like, that helmet doesn't make sense. The size of that, the shape of that, it's fucking weird. And then the attention to detail and the grit, but some things being a little bit out of place or surreal definitely really sets it off in a From style. And we should practice more breastplates and armors. Once you know a couple of them, it's like easier to draw an armored hand sometimes than it is to draw a hand, because they are placeholders, and with an arm you'd have to erase the muscles if you drew them so dramatically. Okay. You have like cloth poncho thing over knight armor. It's like he fought for 1,000 years. He served the king with all of his entire integrity of his being, but then the kingdom went horribly corrupt and he had to kill the woman that he loved, and now he haunts these halls. Nah, that's not this guy's story. He's a guy who didn't fall prey. He's faster. He's better. He's guided. He's got the power. Let it out. He's got the power. Stand up and shout. All right, we'll be back. Send you my love and light.